Hello everyone, this is Chrism, and I'd like to have another conversation with you about your Kundalini awakening process. In this conversation, I would like to discuss the dismemberment process. You know, people hear the word dismemberment. Oh my gosh, limbs being pulled apart, the whole, torture thing of being drawn and quartered and all of that stuff. And this is absolutely not like any of those things. This doesn't hurt at all. It can be surprising, it can be shocking, but the Kundalini does its best to mitigate those fears for you. What is happening is that the Kundalini is pulling your body apart, your energetic body apart, which closely resembles to your ego, the actual physical body part. So it'll pull your legs off, it'll pull your arms off, it'll pull your head off, and some little entity will come up and go, "Don't worry, it's all good. We're going to go fix them and we're going to bring them back better than ever." Or the Kundalini will dangle something in front of your head, very much the same way that we would do a 2-year-old or an infant. When we want to distract an infant from something that might be frightful to them. So, just like we would do with an infant, we dangle something familiar or pretty or in front of them, and they become transfixed with that. Well, the Kundalini will do the same thing for you. One of the students is a medical person, and the Kundalini came to her in order to initiate a dismemberment process. What it did is it took her favorite stethoscope that she uses every day, and it dangled that in front of her. And she immediately recognized it. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite stethoscope. And so it dangled that in front of her, and it actually said, "Okay, we're going to take your heart out. We're going to do some work on your heart." And they kept the stethoscope right there, and she just kept looking at that stethoscope like our ego infant is. And she stared at that the whole time. They took her heart out, did some repair work on it, or some infusion work on it, which is really what it is, infusing the heart with Kundalini. Put it back into her, and the rest of her came back together. Boom, she was fine. She moved right on. Not a problem. It's all about the health of the individual. It isn't about hurting or shocking or scaring or frightening anybody. Okay? We can perceive it that way because, we have survival instincts, and those survival instincts tell us that, wow, if your legs get pulled off and your arms get pulled off, you're probably going to get eaten, or you're in the process of being eaten. And so the Kundalini will do its best to just ameliorate those fears within you. Often people who have had the ayahuasca journey in a jungle environment, while they're in the middle of that ayahuasca ceremony, ayahuasca is a plant that is used most commonly in South America, used to induce spiritual states of consciousness. And sometimes the Kundalini is awakened through that venue, through that vector. The person will be in the middle of the ayahuasca experience. The Kundalini or little people of the jungle will come along and start pulling off limbs and arms and hands and heads and legs and whatnot, and saying, don't worry, we'll bring them right back better than ever." The Tibetans have an exercise that a person who wants to become a lama will go through, where they strap themselves out on the side of a mountain, and they invite all the demons and carnivores to come and kill them and take them. And what they're basically asking is I am ready for the change. The death of my ego is what I'm offering you. Take me, eat me, change me, come to me and dismember me is what they're basically asking for. So I believe it's called the Chud ceremony, CHO with a little umlaut over that and the D. You might look that up on the web if you're so inclined. The dismemberment is always beneficial to a person, always beneficial. It is never hurtful or harmful. Okay, it is never that way. Your ego may tend to place it in that reference. So if you're getting dismembered during a dream and you jerk awake because your ego just couldn't take it anymore, and it jerks you out of the dream, and you remember, animals pulling you apart. Well, that's okay. Don't worry. Part of a dismemberment process. The Kundalini is taking those body parts, infusing them, fixing them, putting them back to you. Nothing bad is happening. It's always good. It's always good. It's always with love. It's always to your benefit. So know this. Understand this. Bring this into your cognitive experience. And let this be a comfort rather than a fear. Thanks for watching.
How beautiful.